Hello, hello. All right. Well, Silvani has stuck around. Unmute Silvani. Good morning, Silvani. I, like you, have been sitting here for many, many, many minutes. For 25 minutes. And,
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, our overlords in Israel have, our Lord and overlords in Israel have finally activated my video uplink, so now we can have some office hours. I'm sorry. I'm sorry this starting quite late. Unfortunately, I can't stay until for a whole hour, but I can stay until 8:45. So let's do as much as we can.
That's fine. And today I don't feel as prepared anyways. I was running a little bit late too, so I wasn't sure if when I logged on, I wasn't sure if this was happening or not. But
I promoted
so
it. I'm like very excited too.
yeah, but I made it. So I came to work super early so I could actually make it to the session, and then I forgot a bunch of things because I usually don't come in this early to work. But so I don't really have any questions, so I was hoping that maybe we can actually go over the writing part, just because I'm a little bit nervous that I see that we have so much more material to cover on Thursday, and I don't know if we're going to get if we're going to be able to cover everything that ideally I think we would like to cover.
Sure. I will plan it out so that we do cover everything. I'll spend a little time to make sure that happens. But yeah, I'm gonna load the writing part right now, and then I'll share it on the screen as soon as it's up.
Thank you.
Okay. How's where do you work? Where are you right now in the world?
I'm in Boston.
No, in Boston. It's just there last week and the week before. So where in Boston are you?
I am near the Prudential.
Nice. That's fun.
So I am going to send you one screenshot that I just took right now, because I think I was trying to, like you said, not to work on the train and things like that, but I was, it's kind of sometimes the only time I have right now. So I'm gonna send you this. I think I can send it to you. I'm just it's not cooperating. Like I said, I forgot my cell phone, so it just makes it a little bit harder
No worries.
to. Okay, how do I do this? So I think I can send this. Okay, I figured it out. Alrighty. Email. So this question, I think it's one of the. I know we've been working on strategies on how to not get anxious and freeze, but when the questions are a little long, and I'm like, oh my God, am I going to really get all the information in time? And I'm trying to so I was trying not to do that, but as soon as I saw this question, I think I need to be able to know how to break down questions that are a little long, like this one.
All right, let me open it. I think we're both having some computer slowness going on.
Okay. And I'll see if I can find like other questions too. I
There
don't
it
have
is.
my book with me.
Let's,
Okay, let me get a pen.
there you go.
And I think for this one, I think I would have wanted a calculator, but I was on the train. I didn't have my phone or anything, so.
You don't really need a calculator. A pen helps, but we're still loading the writing thing. Question 8, verbal. That's it.
You didn't see my email?
I did see your email. I have it. So let's still loading. Oh, here we go. I just want a blank white background so I can write some notes on the question that you sent me.
Okay.
All right. Yes. But in general, when you see something like this, you know, just they're just trying to throw a lot of words at you to you know, to make you panic. So the best thing you can do is to just put it in plain English. So they're trying to, you know, they're trying to make you read every word and question every word, and it's too much. It's too much, and it's not necessary. So
Yeah, mission accomplished for them for sure.
well, that's their job. Their job, like remember, like, you know, this test is, it's like your fun opponent, you know, but it's definitely you know, something that is not, it's not designed to help you out. It's not designed, you can't, like, you know, it's not like, oh, well, I don't really know that, but I'll get the information from a question later in the test, you know, like that happens on some regular, you know, in regular academics, but not on the GRE, not at all.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, I'm turning on the screen so you can see it.
No, I don't.
Loading, loading, loading. You see it now? Still loading.
No, I just see like a bunch of, I guess, files,
Yeah.
a list of files.
It's my life. Dominated by GRE. Okay. I think I downloaded a new operating system, both my Mac and my phone last night, so I'm wondering if this is related, but okay. Come on. Yay. Never cheered for the blackness before. It's like computers and being deaf. Okay.
Okay, I see something. You're writing something.
Just doodling.
Okay.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Right. Okay, let's do this problem that you gave me. All right. the total monthly expenses for a caterer equal a fixed monthly expense plus a variable expense directly proportional. Okay, so we got fixed, and then the variable is something times the number of something, the number of meals. So that's what a variable expense is. It's like whatever. It's like something per meal.
Mm-hmm.
Something times number of meals. So that's what we need. We need 3 pieces of information. Okay, cool. The caterer's total expenses are $22,000. Okay, so fixed plus this thing is $22,000, right?
Yes.
So far, so good. For a month in which she prepares 1,500 meals. 1,500 meals. And 24,400 for a month in which she prepares 1,800 meals. Cool. She will prepare 900 meals this month. Cool. What will be her total monthly expenses for the month? Wow. That's not very much information, is it?
Yeah, like I just when I kind of start reading after this, I was like, I'll just go to the next question. Like it's gonna take me too long to be able. Like I don't, when I figure like it's gonna take me too long, I usually just sort of go to the next and then try to come back to it.
But look at what we actually have though.
Okay, so let me look at it now. Alrighty.
So we have 2 equations.
Mm-hmm. And
2 unknowns.
Yeah, so that's okay. So that becomes. Mm-hmm.
So you know what I would do? Do you know how to do simultaneous equations?
Yes.
So F plus 1,800V equals 24,400.
Mm-hmm.
And F plus 1,500V equals 22,000. What do you want to do?
I can subtract.
Yeah, let's do that. So then the F's cancel out, and we're left with 300V equals 2,400.
2,400, yeah.
Divided by 300.
Okay, and I did not need a calculator.
You don't need a calculator at all.
So that's 8.
Equals V.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so then let's plug that back in. Let's plug it into here. So 8 times 1,500, I don't know what that is, but I know that 2 times 1,500 is 2,000, and then that is 12. So I bet the fixed K is 10K. It's like 10,000 to me. 1,500 times 8, that's 12,000. I subtracted from 20,000. So fixed is 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah. So then 10,000 plus 8 times 900, that's 7,200.
7,200.
Plus 10K.
So it's 17,200.
7,200. Is that an answer choice?
I'm trying to look at it. I kind of lost the question over here. That's why I was trying to look for it, but it must be.
It is. It's answer choice number letter D.
D. Okay. Alrighty.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. I'll be a little more patient and I'll try to calm down a little more when I see a question like that.
Yeah, it's really like the thing that always calms me down is I try to do as much of the question as possible before I get to the question mark. So did you see how slowly I read it? And like every time I got to a new number or anytime I got to a new thing, I just started writing out what that meant.
Okay.
Okay? I bet you read it all at once. I bet you read it all at once before you did anything.
I don't like, yeah, I just saw it. I'm like, it's a long problem. I was like, all right, it's a long problem. Like, I tried reading, like getting the more information, but I was like, I'm just gonna skip it. So I didn't even really attempt it. So I think, those are like, I think the strategies that I want to be able to figure out for, because I know I could do it, like, again, if I had more time, but, it's just like that time pressure that makes me a little bit nervous. I think even, I think when I feel pressured, I don't really do as well. So I've noticed like whenever you do the polls, like I tend to get more questions, right? That when we have to tap in the box, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to tap in the box, and I feel a little vulnerable. So I think I get
Good.
more questions wrong.
So Bonnie, that actually makes me really happy because that's the point of the polls is to simulate what it's like to have to answer and get going. And that happens, every minute and a half on the test. And
Yeah.
I tend to give this class a little more time than you might have on the GRE, or that you might have, or than I say. Sometimes I'll say like, okay, I'll give you 90 seconds, and I give you like two minutes and 20 seconds. But I want you to feel that time pressure because I always say. It's not like the time pressure is like a side effect of the test or like something ancillary to what they're testing. Like the timed nature of the test is the test. Like that's the point. Like if they let you have unlimited time, everyone would get like 80 to 90% of the questions right. So it's training to do it quickly and train to deal with the stress of time pressure. That's the test. Like that's the point. And so if you are having trouble with it, you should train directly on speed. And so what I do to train directly on speed is I will give myself a set of 10 questions, and then try to do them in 25 minutes, figure those out, and then double back and try to do those same questions in 15 minutes. And then try to do those same questions in 10 minutes and try to figure out how to do those questions. And then I'll do another set of questions that I've never seen before, try to do those in 20 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then 10 minutes.
So start with 20 minutes and 15 and then 10.
Yeah. So,
And 10 questions. Okay.
Set of 10. So.
And I should pick the ones that I've gotten wrong, the hardest questions that for me, or is that?
You don't start with that. Start with a set of 10 that's like a good medium difficulty set. Some easy, some medium, some a little hard. But don't do all, because that's not what the real test is going to be. Try some medium, some easy, some hard at first, and then get harder and harder. But the point of it is that. And I start people doing speed drills on questions they've already done because a lot of times they'll remember steps and they can feel themselves going faster and faster and faster. So the point is to get you used to the sensation of going quickly during a problem, and then I'll put you on a question you've never seen before and try to make you go that quickly. But it's something you need to train and can train. It's completely part of the test. It's not like, I do great on the standardized test if only I just had enough time to finish. The test makers are diabolical. They know exactly what they're doing, and they don't give you enough time. It's not enough time. They don't give you enough time for a regular human to finish. But if you train for it, you can finish.
Okay, yeah, because I think, even like on the Jerry book, I think I tend to do better like on those problems just because I think I'm more relaxed. I don't see that timer. And then whenever I see like the Ready4 app, I see that timer. It just drives me nuts.
Well,
but I understand like it has to be like that. So it's just.
It just is. It's like when you show up to, it's like you're like you're in Boston. You ride the T sometimes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So like if you get on the T and you're expecting like a perfectly silent, beautiful car, that's not going to happen. You show up to the T and there's like four bros with Gronk jerseys on, and then like a mom with a baby, and the baby is like crying a little bit, and like you show up and you're like, you know what? This is this is the T ride. You know, I can't get rid of those bros. They're everywhere. Everyone has Gronk jersey in the whole freaking city. It just is. And so this is my transit now. And so you adapt to it by putting in headphones, or you stare straight ahead. You try not to look at the Gronk folks in the eye. It just invites comment. You know, you just don't want to do it. So same thing with the test. It's like,
Yeah.
it would be great if it were just so peaceful, but it's not.
I know. Like I tried taking a whole test like this Sunday morning, like, and I said, I'm gonna leave it, and I said, all right, I'm gonna try to, as if I was driving to the test center. So I left at 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to Boston. I was gonna go to the library, because it will be about a 1 hour drive. Where I signed up to take the test. I signed up for October. So I came in, and there was like some bike convention, whatever thing, and I actually never made it to the library because I kept driving around, and every street was closed. So after 2.5 hours of driving, I ended up back home.
Oh, that's awful.
So I figured, I'm like, that could be a test day thing, so I need to leave even earlier.
Yeah. Hopefully there won't be a bike convention there today.
Yeah, whatever it was, but it was terrible.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
being adaptable and not letting certain stressors get to you it's a really important thing. I think I've told you some of the things that have happened to me on test day.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
thinking when you mentioned that, I was like, this could be one of them, but I'm glad it wasn't on test day, at least.
I've gotten locked in the bathroom twice during the test. That's happened. That's happened. Like when it happened the second time, I'm like, oh, me.
That is terrible.
Yeah, yeah, it was bad. And it was like I was losing time, and I was locked in the bathroom, so I had to wait for someone to like come and open it from the outside. So I lost I think I only lost like 6-7 minutes on the math section, but it wasn't pleasant. And then
Yeah,
I had to sit down, and I'd be like, "Ooh, okay, yeah."
yeah, well, it's a good thing you can just like brush it off because a lot of us would be like, oh my God, I'm doomed, but try not to like get into that.
I had a student last year. She was taking the essay on the GMAT, and she pressed something, and she didn't know what she pressed, and all of her characters became Japanese characters, and so she could only type in Japanese.
It's
Uh,
crazy.
and she had 6 minutes left on the essay too, and she hadn't finished. So she had to figure out exactly what it is that she did. So she was like asking the proctor. She's like, "Can you come here, please? My thing's in Japanese." But she wasn't saying that. She was just like, "Oh, oh, oh." And he, of course, like the proctors don't come over. The proctors they're so mean and incompetent. These are people who couldn't get a job at the DMV because they weren't nice enough. They're like really terrible, horrible people. So they couldn't like get to her in the course of like 3 or 4 minutes. They couldn't get to her. So she had to figure it out on her own. She did, and then finished the essay. She had 90 seconds left when she finally figured it out. And then she had to like erase all the Japanese that she had written, and then write her conclusion. And she did it, and she got a 740, which is the 94th percentile. And so the essay, that was the first thing that happened to her on test day. Like she got
Oh my.
it's down for the essay, and like that happens 20 minutes into the essay. After the essay, she had integrated reasoning, and then the math and the verbal, which were the main sections. So that was like one of the best stories of resilience I've ever heard. So
My goodness.
it's just like you don't know. Like anything can happen. There's another person like that's like some dude like kicked the plug, um, and the whole power strip came out of the wall, so her computer like shut down and they like lost her test. So she had to like go out, and then they plugged it back in, and then they said, well, you can reschedule, or you can take it over again now. And so she had to restart. And
Oh my.
so you just don't know, like so many different things can happen. And she did extremely well too. I think she got a 720, so which is 92nd percentile. It's just if you think about like I expect something bad to happen, and then if nothing bad happens, it's like great, that's an amazing bonus. But if something bad happens, I'm like, all right, I knew this was gonna happen. It's fine. I
All
can't
right.
be phased. it can't be phased, you know. And if I go into it with that attitude, then there's like obviously some things will stress you out, like if the power goes out. I think if the power went out, I would flip out. But you know, they dealt these people who experienced it, they just dealt with it. So you can do the same, Silvana.
Okay, I will try.
Okay, all right. Let me show you a little bit about the essay. You can see this, yeah.
Yes, and like also like for the verbal, I have a quick question. So like, how many words did you say we should study a day? And like, I feel like I do the decks on the cards, but then like I'm like, okay, I did the first deck, I remember those. Then I come back 2 days later, I'm like, I really don't remember those. Like sort like that. I'm like, I can say, okay, I need a review, and I guess what's like sort of a better way for him to like really stick.
The the best way the way I would do is I would study words that have a common prefix or a common suffix. So common Greek prefix or common Greek suffix or common Latin prefix or common Latin suffix. And then that way you can learn a bunch of words, but you also are learning that prefix or suffix. So
That makes
bro.
sense for Greek and Latin. Okay.
And then you're learning a little bit of Greek and Latin so that if you see the letters URS, it's like, maybe it's about a bear. It's like ursine means like bear-like, and like urs, like that, like a lot of words with URS that mean bear. It's bear, like bear in that. So maybe you don't know exactly what it is, but it's like, oh, I think this means around, like circumvent, circumnavigate, circumscribe. I think this means something around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's my best advice. Okay.
All right, I'll try those.
Two types of essays. Analyze an issue and analyze an argument. Let's go quickly to those types. All right. Analyze an issue. You have to write critically. Understanding the issue is evaluating a logical. Analyze an issue is advocacy. Present a compelling case for your own position. And understanding the issue is discussing the logical validity of the author's case, which is, I think, kind of picking it apart. So, analyze an issue. Society should identify those children who have special talents and provide training for them at an early age to develop their talents. Okay, what do you think? You can argue either one, but you have to lay out your case. So, wait. Okay, so this is good. This is good advice. This is really good advice. This is good. So in general, there are 3 parts to this half hour. The first part is, I'm going to write it on this slide because this is an excellent slide, slide number 12. First, read the question. Second, figure out a 3 to 4 part thesis. So how are you going to say 3 or 4 things about the question? Number 3, plan those 3 to 4 points. 4, write. 5, proofread. So read the question, takes like, I don't know, let's say 2 minutes. Figure out a 3 to 4 part thesis. I would take a full 4 minutes. Actually, well, just figuring out a thesis maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And then plan those 3 to 4 points, probably 3 to 5 minutes. And then writing is usually 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm only writing for 12 to 15 minutes. I'm like, when I'm writing, I'm just like just cranking it out because I've already planned it. I've already taken enough time to figure out what I'm going to say, and then proofread is the rest. Okay, that's my best advice for both essays. So when you are doing when you're doing the analyze an argument, for the analyze an issue is, you know, you're presenting your case. So the greatness of individuals can be decided only by those who live after them, not by their contemporaries. I don't know. Let's go for it. So, you know, only by those who live after them, not by their contemporaries. So you're going to have one part that, you know, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 parts that talk about why the greatness of individuals can be decided only by people who come after, and then one part about why you can't, why greatness of individuals can't be judged by contemporaries, or 2 parts, but you know, something like that.
Can you say that again? So why, like I lost track of what you were saying, like the.
All right. So it says the greatness of individuals can be decided only by those who live after them, not by their contemporaries. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the greatness of individuals. I would probably spend one part talking about. Well, I'll probably talk about in the intro about what greatness is, and how it is judged, and then who judges it, and then. Paragraph 1, I talk about contemporaries' judgment. Paragraph 1, contemporaries' judgment. And then why that's not enough. And then paragraph 2. Talk about later generations' judgment. Sorry, this is body paragraph 1. Intro is the paragraph, first paragraph. This is body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, later generations' judgment, and then paragraph 3, like history's judgment, like way far generation, history's judgment. And then conclusion. So why is contemporary judgment not enough? Later generations judgment, why that's better. History's judgment, why that's the final word. And then a conclusion about greatness. So there you go. That's the essay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you like take little hints from what they give you. And you're like, okay, I got to make 3 different paragraphs about this. Well, I got to say something about got to say something about it, kind of put it in context. Then I'm going to say something about contemporaries, and then something about later, and then I just made up like way later, right? Just made it up. All right. So for analyze an argument, you have to write a response in which you discuss specific evidence. What evidence you need to evaluate the argument and explain how the evidence would weaken or strengthen the argument. The one on the GMAT, you're always weakening it. You're always saying this argument sucks. So I think you can do either, but always easier to weaken an argument. So some people believe it is often necessary, even desirable, for political leaders to withhold information from the public. Is this the argument? No, yeah, argument. Here we go, argument. Okay, perfect. So the following appeared in a note from the superintendent of schools. During the recent school board race, a clear majority of newsletter subscribers who responded to our survey showed an interest in more information about the relative platforms of incumbent school board members, as well as new candidates. All right, so thanks. Looks like a clear majority of newsletter subscribers, not a clear majority of like people who responded to our survey. Oh, it's an even narrower group. Showed an interest in more information about relative platforms about incumbent school board members and candidates. To expand the number of newsletter subscribers, what? Hence, furthering our mission of informing the public on local education issues, we should use a larger portion of each edition of the newsletter to cover school board members' positions. That sounds like not a good idea, because I think only like nerdy Nancy, who lives in her home and has nothing better to do than read a school board newsletter and respond to a survey about that school board newsletter. Only she cares about the incumbents, about the platforms of the candidates. If you're trying to expand the number of newsletter subscribers, that might not be the best thing to do. So,
Correct.
yeah. So you have to come up with 3 ways that this logic is terrible. So maybe only nerdy Nancy's responded. Maybe and so maybe the newsletter already goes to all parents for free. So then, like, expanding the, giving more coverage to something is not going to expand the number of newsletter subscribers. This is not as good here. I just kind of made that up. Analyze an argument, you want to cite things from the passage. So, furthering our mission of informing the public on local education issues. Maybe more info about platforms will come at expense of investigating the candidates. So I made that up too, but if that's true, then you're doing less investigating of the candidates, and you're doing more just publishing their platforms, and so that's going to harm the mission of informing the public on local education issues.
Okay.
So there you go. So basically, you're trying to say, given the information in the passage, I don't think that conclusion is going to work. So given the information stated by the superintendent of Cardalia County Schools, the conclusion that additional information about the platforms of school board candidates, the conclusion that that the way to increase newsletter subscribers is to publish more info about the candidates. That conclusion will not hold. So something like that.
Okay.
And we'll do this more in depth.
Okay. No, but it's very helpful. Like I wanted to like try, just to make sure that I was going in the right direction. And also like for the GRE, there's like an option I think to pay like $20 I think to be able to like do a subscription for actually essays and for the computer to grade it on whatever standards that they have. Would you recommend? Do you think it's that's a good way to be able to just test to see how the grading is on the
If you want. I mean, if you're really nervous about it, $20. But I haven't had the coffee yet. I think the essay it's really formulaic. So if you do, if you follow the Ready4 system, if you just plug things into the system, I think you'll do really, really well. You'll get a 5 or a 6, and then that's all you need.
Okay, perfect.
Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Bonnie, I'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, see you tomorrow night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.